Welcome back to the channel, Touring Townsends. We're David and Jill, and we started motorhoming in 2012 by hiring a motorhome for 3 weeks and touring in France. In 2016, we took the plunge and bought our own motorhome, a Bersner Ixio, which we used for weekends and holidays. And in 2022, we took early retirement to travel more in the motorhome. In 2024, we picked up our new Cartago liner for 2. But unfortunately, it spent quite a bit of 2025 in and out of Fiat garages with engine problems. So we're hoping to do much more travelling in 2026 with the problems behind us. We hope you follow and enjoy our adventures. If you do, please leave a like and subscribe, and do leave a comment. We love to read them. We left home driving to the northeast to stay with family for New Year. Unfortunately, once we arrived, we tried to put the bed down and it wouldn't work. We tried changing a couple of fuses, but nothing worked, and we ended up having to wind the bed down, which is a very slow process if you've ever tried it. We did get it down for the night, and next day we realised the fuses we'd tried to change were the wrong ones. We changed the right ones and everything was okay. Good morning. We've just passed into Scotland and we are heading to our first stop on this trip after spending New Year with some family in the northeast. Of course, as soon as we planned this trip, they started to forecast snow in Scotland. So the next few days could be quite interesting as we see what the weather decides to do. Anyway, we've got 2 nights in St Abbs, so that's where we're heading now. So this is where we've parked up for our first couple of nights in Scotland. We're just over the border in St Abbs on a CL called Stormy Bay caravan site. It's just on the edge of St Abbs. And there's 5 pitches as always with some nice views. There we are, all parked up. And there's a path just by the campsite that goes on into St Abbs off the road. So we're going to take a walk down there now. It's a bit late in the day, but we'll go and have a little look round. St Abbs is a small fishing village, known mainly for scuba diving these days. You can see from these shots that the harbour is really well protected. The sea is very rough outside. Just to the north of the village is St Abbs Head, which is a marine nature reserve, and you get loads of seals on the beaches around there during the pupping season. The next morning we set off for a walk to the nature reserve. It had been a very windy night and it was blowing a hoolie next morning, which is why I can't use the audio from this video. We set off to walk along the cliffs and hopefully see some seals. St Abbs is very popular for the nature reserve, but it's also been popularised by Harry Styles filming a video here, and apparently a lot of tourists come because of that. It's also twinned with New Asgard, as some of the Avengers series was filmed here. We saw a peregrine flying over here, but too fast for us to catch on camera. Chatting with a ranger, he told us that the season had started early this year and very few seal pups were left. This meant that the ones that were very popular with some tourists, who were leaning over the fence to take pictures and generally disturbing the seals. Once off the nature reserve, we headed back through St Abbs and onto the coastal path towards Coldingham Bay. From Coldingham Bay we walked inland to the village of Coldingham, where we had a nice lunch at the new inn, just the same as we did last year. After lunch we went to the spa for a few bits, and then we walked back through the village along a nice little path by the water, and then along the coast path back to St Abbs. And back to the van just before it started to go dark. Next morning we took the bus from St Abbs to Eyemouth, just down the coast. Eyemouth has a natural harbour and fishing dates back to the 13th century. The harbour is still active today and the fleet can be seen within the harbour. In the 18th century, smuggling was rife in the area and Guns Green House was at the centre of this. It's now a museum. Nisbet's Tower is now a holiday home. It's on booking.com. After exploring the harbour, we walked back into the town and had a nice lunch at Wendy's, hot toasties and coffee, and then wandered off to the seafront as the tide had now come in and was overtopping the seawall. A sudden windstorm in 1881, while the fishing boats were out at sea, caused the death of 189 fishermen, of whom 129 were from Eyemouth. The memorial commemorates the widows and children left behind. Eventually, we tore ourselves away from watching the waves breaking over the walls, and we set off on the coast path to walk back to St Abbs. Once back at Coldingham Bay, we retraced our steps along the coast to St Abbs and back to the motorhome. Next morning, having avoided snow and ice so far, we moved on. Good morning. We're leaving beautiful St Abbs behind and moving a little bit further north. We've managed to avoid the snow so far, so we're keeping an eye on the forecast and not venturing too far north until it clears up. So we're going to end the video here now, and we will be back very soon with our next adventure. If you've enjoyed this, please do give it a like and subscribe, and leave a comment. We enjoy reading them, and we'll see you on the next one.